Alrighty, and welcome to a INFS 754, I believe. Yes, it is 754 TED Talk. Today, I'm going to be talking about sandboxes. You may have a question: what is a sandbox? Well, a sandbox is a security mechanism for controlling and running programs in an environment that is protected or away from the host machine. It is a way to, and there you may ask, what is the sandbox even good for? Like, what is the point of one? Well, it's good for testing software. It's also good for executing untested code. And it's also good to test malware to make sure that the programs that you have aren't infected, and also to make sure that when you are creating new programs, that you're not going to wreck everything because your code is wrong or bad. Now, there's a bunch of different types of sandboxes. List a few here. A jail is it's a normal sandbox that just has no networking involved. So basically, you cannot get any access to the network. There's also physical machines that you can install. Basically, it's just like you would install Windows on a normal desktop, but you wouldn't put any personal information on there. It's a way to be secure or to test on a fully running on physical hardware without worrying about wrecking your actual system. And there's a rule-based one, which is specified by the different rules that Sandbox may have, and also the different amount of software that's running. And then the last one is a native host sandbox, which basically you're running on a virtual machine. You're running a sandbox on a virtual machine. This is a good way to test a lot of malware, and that's what I'm going to use today in my demo later on. And there's a bunch of sandbox software. I'm just going to talk about a few of them. Sandboxy, it's a client that you can download software easily off the internet. It's free. Allows you to drag applications and run them in the sandbox. It'll even tell you the processes that are installed or that are accessed when it's used. It's a pretty good piece of software. It's good for tinkerers, but it doesn't really have a lot of the neat features that a lot of security analysts would look at when digging through a sandbox. So, and there's also Cuckoo. Now, Cuckoo is more of an automated sandbox, and it has a reporting feature. It'll go through and it'll run through like different websites, different files that you want to test to ensure that they work and don't have any issues. And also will generate reports, take screenshots, and all that fun stuff. And evaluate and buffer zone are similar to Cuckoo and Sandboxy, just with different tweaks here and there, and different prices. Alrighty, now we've gone through a quick run through of a sandbox. Let's do a little demonstration. So the first demo, what I'm going to show you, is I have installed an Ubuntu server. Obviously not the most secure password, but on this Ubuntu server, it's basically running 14.4 LS or whatever. It's a long-term service. Don't want to be able to keep using this bad boy. Long-term support, I meant. Basically, I installed the GUI over it to make stuff working with VirtualBox a lot easier. VirtualBox is kind of a pain in the butt when you're trying to create a bunch of emulations within an emulation, and it wasn't fun. So I installed the Ubuntu user interface on it, and I also downloaded the binaries for Cuckoo. Now Cuckoo, right here, has a bunch of stuff to help prepare you to get installed. It has how you prepare your host and your guest operating system. You need to install different Python libraries, set up VirtualBox, VMware, any sort of emulation software. And it just tells you how to go through and install it. And following this, it's fairly straightforward. Only a few times that I run into issues where I got stuck and had to ask or get some help on it. But other than that, it was fairly straightforward. But anyways, so here's what we got. So basically I have this Ubuntu box. It's got Cuckoo installed, all the Python binaries, everything. I have also set up with custom IP tables. I did this because Cuckoo's default has these set up in this direction, and so it just made it easier just to use what Cuckoo already had in place. You could obviously change that in the config files if you'd like. So what I got here, so basically let's get Cuckoo running. So it's typical, get the directory, and then it's a /cuckoo py. As you can see, it's loaded looking for the virtual machine that I have installed, and as you can see, it has loaded it up and it's ready to roll. Cuckoo's running. Looks like it's running good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little test. In the first test I'm going to run. Well, looks like I closed out of it. Anyways, the first one, we're going to go to the Cuckoo file directory, and we're going to go to here. Let's see here. I just got to remember exactly. We're going to take two different things. We're going to do a URL, and then we're going to also do just a normal target today. So basically, it gives you a nice little explanation on how to do everything. So we want to go to the utilities folder. So we'll browse the utilities, and in there you'll see that we have a bunch of different stuff we can run. And so basically what we're going to do, // submit pi, and we're --URL, and the first URL that I'm going to test is from malware traffic. This is vastkid.com. Basically it does a flash drive exploit, a Java exploit. This VM does not have, or this VM does have Java so yeah, like you said, basically URL, we're going to go to vastkid.com. Submit that bad boy, paste it in, and bink, and there it goes. It loads up the virtual machine in the save state, and as you see I have Flash Player installed on this, so it should be vulnerable. Now what this is going to do is it's going to take a screen recording of, it's going to take some screenshots, it's going to generate a report, all that fun jazz. Should load up IE here, and while we wait for that to happen, there it is. This is using IE6, so it is a bit of a turd. So, but while we wait for that to do its thing, if we go back to over here, you can see in our other terminal that it is in fact doing the analysis on the guest machine. And so we just wait a bit. It doesn't take too long to get working or to finish up its analysis. And bam, see, look, it shows that it is finished. As you can see, the virtual machine has been closed down. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the Cuckoo's file. We're going to go to storage, go to analyst, and the latest one is this one. And you see it dumps files, with all these files that have been accessed, the log, oops. And it also generates a nice report. I think it's finishing the HTML. We'll give it a sec here. It takes a bit. Obviously, they populate all these screenshots too, and be put in the report as well. There it is. And there it is. And now it shows that this report shows all the different screenshots. It runs through all the different things that it clicked on, ran through all the files that were downloaded for it, where it attacked, vector, all different stuff that happened. And it just gives a nice little list of everything. It tells what it affected, the registry, file system, process services, bunch of stuff, and obviously tells the XP, and also gives you can also set it up to have virus total come through. Goes through it, obviously lists the URL, everything, so it's very nice. Here's the virus total link here. So there you have it. See, it just makes generate a nice report for you, and it's obviously all Sandbox. It reverts back to snapshots every time. You can save the different snapshots with different software installed, like Flash, Reader, all that different fun stuff. This is free. It's easy to use, or take a bit to set up, but once you get it set up, it's pretty phenomenal. Creates this nice report for you. And then I also have another one with a file I downloaded called Crypto Wall. It's a crypto wall, and this is the file right here. So what we do is just go back to the terminal. Same thing, except for instead of doing URL, all we have to do is just, you'll test this, pop it right in there, like so. Oops. It didn't like something I did there, but there it goes anyways. It's going to test the same thing. It's going to run everything through the signatures. Similar scenario to what it did with the last one, except for this one it's not going to use the URL. Yep, and so there you have it. And then once again it generates another report, similar to like what happened with the last one. So we go to Koku, storage, analyst, 16, and this one actually pulls the binary of the file. Obviously going to generate the report here too. It takes a screenshot, shows the executables, so that's what it does. Shows the file size, the virus total score, detection rate. Then once again it goes through and tells you through what it does. Unhooks, registry, and like that. So that's my quick run through of sandboxes. I hope you enjoyed, learned something, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you later. Alright. Peace.